Talking about corruption, nowadays we are talking only about corruption. People are fighting against corruption. When we compare Indian politics or Indian bureaucrats or Indian sportspersons or Indian businessmen with other countries like transparent countries like Finland, etc., what lacks in us? What lures Indians only more towards corruption than other countries? Why it's only India? Is there any specific reason that only Indians are getting corrupt and then countries like Finland, there is a lot of transparency? What is the reason for this, please, sir?
Yeah, I don't think only India is a corrupt country, and I don't think there is any country which has no corruption. And see, corruption, we are only thinking in terms of money. There are many different types of corruptions. There could be religious corruption, there could be social corruption, and only what we put our attention on is only money. And that way India, I really appreciate Mr. Mohandas Pai for having brought up how we are progressing. That way we are looking at India as something wrong here. Can we start from everything is okay? What can we look at? What next? If we can start from there, we can make a progress. Otherwise, if we keep putting our attention on what is there right now, the corruption, what is wrong, what is not working, we will though we are progressing, we indulge into these things and we keep thinking these things, and even if we progress, we don't see the progress. We are progressing. And when you say corruption, it is, I want to be a little philosophical in this. See, outer world is reflection of our inner world. If we are seeing corruption outside, there is corruption inside. And if we see filth and garbage outside, if we litter outside, and if there is a lot of things that is going wrong outside, there is something going wrong inside. We also need to look at ourselves, and as Mr. Justice Saldana said, everything starts here. It is not about changing something out there, it is changing here.
Sir, I'd just like to make an observation here. Sir, as you spoke, we need internal reformation. Why don't all the sections of the society join together to not only make a judicial or a law-based movement like how Mr. Anna Hazare is fasting for a Lokpal bill? Why not we launch a movement for the holistic and the spiritual reformation of us so that we have 100% free corruption society in our country? It's not just monetary, as you spoke, moral corruption, religious corruption, even corruption in exam halls, the way they copy. So why don't we launch all the sections of the society, launch a whole lot of movement or a revolution for the inner transformation of ourselves, not just only by laws, but by our own self.
Wonderful. It's really wonderful.
Great suggestion.
You know, I want to give you a piece of data again. In every society all around the world, there has been corruption in the devolution society. England in the 18th, 19th century, the United States in the beginning of the 20th century and 19th century, and any other country. Japan even now is very corrupt. Thailand is extremely corrupt. You name a country, there's corruption. I'm not condoning corruption. I hate corruption. I'm not praising Mahima and the political class. But I'm standing up for them. I like Mahima. He's very honest. But the point I'm trying to make is the process of evolution. When does corruption become less in society? When you have a large middle class. If you have a middle class which is 60%, 65%, a middle class which believes in a good society, a middle class which demands good services, and a middle class which has got an interest in society and a stake in society, and they want their children educated, corruption will come down. India has come to that point. And that's why in this corruption movement, you see a large number of young people, the middle class going and standing and fighting. This is the inflection point for India. It has not happened so far. And I want to say one more thing to you, to add to what Mahima said. In your class, if your teacher stands up and goes on saying, you are terrible, you're not paying attention, all your negative points, how will you feel? You feel terrible. You'll never come up. Now let us look at the positive side of this country. From 1947 till now, we have done very well. We could have been much better, yes, but we've done well. And next 20 years, we're going to do very well, irrespective of the political class, irrespective of pollution, irrespective of this corruption. So let's have a very positive attitude. You are Ramesh Ramanathan, who has given up a career as a banker, trying to make millions in Wall Street and blow up the world, coming and spending time in Bangalore. You're Justice Saldana, fighting for all of you, even now, despite his health. You're Lucas Voltarai, who has been a very honest officer, who is now starting to do something else. And you have this young lady here, who is going and winning awards for us, working 18 hours a day. Right? And you have Mahima, who's going to fight for us for a corruption-free society. Let's be positive.
Can I just, Justice, can I take 1 minute to, because it's a very important question. I want to give a very personal answer to that. I think it's very, especially today, we all have to be incredibly grateful to Anna Hazare for whatever he's been doing and this incredible movement that he has triggered, right? But I think we should be careful that we should use this word movement very carefully. We shouldn't keep saying, let us start a movement for this, let us start a movement for that. I remember 12 years ago when we started Janagraha, there was a very nice saying that we continuously remind ourselves. When I was young, I wanted to change the world. As I grew older, I realized that it was very hard to change the world. So I said, let me change my city. I grew a little older. I said, it's hard to change the city. Let me change my neighborhood. Then I realized even that is difficult. Let me change my family. Now I'm an old man and I feel maybe I should have changed myself, right? So I think what is really important is I grew up in a middle class family. My father used to work for the railways. And they taught us basic values. I used to be a member of the Boy Scouts when I was growing up in my school. I'm a student of St. Germain's from Bangalore. I went to Chinmaya Mission's Balavihar for 6 years of my schooling. Something in how I grew up made these basic things part and parcel of who I am. I think my message, you are the leaders of your schools, in your classes. Please, let's not talk about big picture things. This meeting will end in half an hour. Then we'll go back to our lives and history exam and geography and science and teachers and schools and friends. Please do something that you can control. That is all we need to do.
That's what I wanted to say.